Hello everyone, we're going to do a lesson on finding zeros of a function. We're going to look at graph and equation. On graph, we're going to look and see where the graph crosses the x-axis. This is where f of x, which means y, equals 0. So let's take a look at the graph below and find 0 of a function. Where does this graph cross the x-axis? Right here, at -3. So -3, y 0, this is a 0 of a function. Let's take a look at the next graph. Where does this graph cross the x-axis? Right here, right here, right here, and right here. So you can have more than one zeros of a function. You have 4 zeros here. So this is where all the y equals 0. So this point is, this 0 is -1.4. This one is -1. This one is 0. And this is +1.4. So you have 4 zeros for this graph. Let's look at the next graph and find zeros. Look at this graph. Where does that cross x-axis? It crosses at -2. It crosses at, maybe estimate 1.5 between 1 and 2 right here. And it crosses at 5. So for this graph, you have 3 zeros. Let's go to the right side and find zeros using equations. When you have an equation, we're going to find the value of x when f of x equals 0. That means y equals 0. So we're going to replace 0 into f of x, and we're going to solve for x. You're going to set the function equal to 0 and solve for x. Let's take a look at this problem. Find the 0 of a function f of x equals -3x plus 12. So we're going to set this part equals 0. And we're going to solve for x. We're going to -12 on both sides of the equation. 0 minus 12 is -12 equals -3x. We're going to solve for x. Divide each side by -3. -12 divided by -3 is +4. So x equals 4. So the answer is 4, 0. When I plugged in 0 into y, I got 4. And 4 is a 0 of a function. Let's try the next one. Find the 0 of a function. Where should I plug in 0? Should I plug in here or here? You have to plug in here. You have to find and solve for x. So you have to write 0 equals 2 over 7x minus 6. You're solving for x. So when I say 0 of a function, you plug in 0 into y, f of x. So let's solve for x. We're going to plus 6 on each side. 0 plus 6 is 6 equals 2 over 7x. 6 equals 2 over 7x. We're going to multiply each side by 7 over 2, which is inverse. So this will cancel. And then you're going to do 7 over 2 parentheses times 6. You can do that on the calculator. And then x equals 21. So the answer is 21, 0. Let's do the last one. Find the 0 of the function. Where should I put the 0? Here or here? Here. So we're going to do 0 equals -6x plus 42. Why don't you pause the video and solve for x? Pause the video. Let's solve for x. we're gonna minus 42. That's 0 minus 42 is negative 42 equals negative 6x. Negative 42 equals negative 6x. Divide each side by negative 6. X equals positive 7. So your 0 of a function is 7, 0. And this makes sense because if I plug in 7 into x, negative 6 times 7 is negative 42. Negative 42 plus 42 is 0. So when I plug in x value into x, I get 0. Same thing for this question and the previous question. So you can check and plug in the x value and see if you get a 0 as an answer. And that's the 0 of a function. Thank you for watching the video.